and welcome to the Pet Pawcast on DETV. Hey, John.
Hey, April, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing fine. We're coming to you from our DETV studio
here
in Wilmington. And in Wilmington, you know what? When you're in Wilmington, you're in the middle of it all.
I know that's right.
It's
and
beautiful.
Nothing's happening unless it's happening in Wilmington.
That
That's
is
what they
correct.
say anyway.
So on this Pet Pawcast, and remember why we do this Pet Pawcast, because we love these animals, they love us, and we want to make sure that they are protected, they are nurtured, and we want to make sure everyone who is watching our podcast feels the same way we do, and that is to make sure that animals are okay and they should get a forever home. So, visit a shelter and see if you would like to give one of these animals a beautiful, beautiful home.
Yes, we encourage everyone who has the bandwidth to do it, to, just try to foster a pet or, adopt a pet if you can. You never know that you need one until you get one, right?
There you go.
So, and they bring us so much joy, and it's like having medicine 24 hours a day. So I love it. And speaking of shelters, I think we actually visit one today.
It's Humane Animal Partners on A Street in Wilmington. We had a chance to talk to the Executive Director Patrick Carroll, and then later in the program we have a visit back here in the studio by Senator.
My favorite senator.
I know, and a favorite of DETV, Senator Nicole Poore will be here. So stay with us for this Pet Pawcast, and let's begin by taking a visit to Humane Animal Partners on A Street in Wilmington.
Yep. See you in a bit.
Patrick, tell us a little bit more about HAP and the services provided. And you also have, in addition, I know you have other facilities here in Delaware. We happen to be in Wilmington.
HAP is pretty much a statewide no-kill animal welfare center, and we offer a number of things. Animal intake, if someone needs to give up a pet or they need to rehome them, or if we have homeless animals. We do adoption services, we do fostering. We have a pet food pantry at each location that really grew during the pandemic, and now we're really into doing that, and it's very well utilized. We do low-cost spay-neuter surgery, and we do low-cost veterinary care as well. And of course, volunteering we have an army of volunteers at our 3 locations. So, but it's really mainly around. It is about that human-animal bond. Making sure that we do feel that we serve people as much as we serve animals. Kind of, there's a phrase that we serve both ends of the leash.
Patrick, while you were going through the services, if you would just take a look at these statistics, and we'll look at these are for 2024. Over 2,000 adoptions, 2,200 animals were sheltered here at HAP and other parts of your in total operation. 5,400 low-cost spay-neuter surgeries, over 1,300 wellness exams, more than 1,600 vaccines administered, and of course 10,500 and a little bit more in volunteer hours. And the volunteer hours, that's a nonprofit facility such as HAP and any animal shelter has to rely on the volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you have there's an outpouring from people.
How does one become an actual volunteer for HAP?
No, it's relatively easy. You just go onto our website and you find the volunteer section, and then you submit the volunteer interest form, and then from there, our volunteer manager Ashton Cleveland will reach out, and if it's in Rehoboth, it'll be Kim Doucette, then you'll be invited to an orientation, just an overall background, and then from there you go to be trained in the specific areas.
Oh, that's great. So do you guys facilitate the training? Is it a cost on the person who wants to volunteer?
Oh, we facilitate that, absolutely no cost.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
We thank you for welcoming us in. I did want to ask you about one more thing. And that is that you have a medical facility here, and that serves folks who are many times not able to afford the higher cost of, I'll call it, regular veterinary clinics.
Like I said, we always do vaccination clinics that people line up in a line to do that. That's kind of like process we do at our locations, and we have low-cost vet care, and we do spay neuter surgery, obviously. But what has really grown in the last year and a half is goes in line with us becoming more of a full-service resource center for pet owners, and that is that we have started to offer special surgeries that are at a lower cost. So for example, if there's an eye issue or ear issues or even teeth, dental issues, or even a limb removal, or if something needs, if an animal has a foreign body, we're doing that. And the beautiful thing is that people hear about it and they may call directly, but what's really happening, which is what we really want to happen, is that the local veterinarians may reach out to us and say, hey, I have this client, here's the issue. They're really at a place where they can't afford what it's going to cost, and it's either that or they may need to elect for euthanasia, and it may be a perfectly healthy or young animal. So it's great, because now I believe that the veterinarians are seeing HAP as a resource for their client, and that makes them feel good, because they can not, they don't want to see an animal have to be euthanized because of a cost. Being the barrier. And then also it's great that they see us as a resource. And then the other wonderful thing we have that goes along with that is we have a few donors who have created funds to help people with a life-saving surgery or procedure.
Oh, like if a special surgery is needed, you can pull out of that fund?
Yes. So the best example is Tatiana and Garrett Copeland, who are great supporters of ours, created Reggie's Fund a few years ago in honor or in memory of their dog Reggie, who was adopted from here. So it's mainly a fund for dogs, for life-saving procedures for dogs. So we have, that just grows and grows and grows. We helped, I believe, over 150 animals last year with a life-saving procedure. It may have taken place here, because one of our surgeons may have done it, or it may have taken place at a local vet, and then we can contact them with our credit card, basically, and pay the bill. We have limits on the amount, and we have to manage that case. But that's been really wonderful. And also, we have a similar fund like that called Mushi's Fund that was created more so for cats. And then the last thing we do is we have some grant money from the Pets for the Elderly Foundation, which is to help people who need help with medical care for their pets, and that is people who are 60 or over. I don't feel like 60 is elderly, but I'm getting very close to it.
I don't know if you just saw that, but April, she just nudged me when we said that, and you know what? April knows.
We're teetering. I'm teetering, and John understands what that looks like.
Thank you, Patrick, very much so again for welcoming us here, and we'll continue, and we're pleased to be able to do this first episode here at HAP.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
you.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, John.
This is the Pet Pawcast.
It is the Pet Pawcast. How are you?
We're doing fine. And trying to keep track of my doggy over here.
Listen, that dog's got a mind of his own. He said, I want to be comfortable, but I want to be comfortable where I am.
He told me, he said, I want to be right in the corner of the shot.
There you go.
And there he is.
You got to love them, though. They just want to be where they want to be. And, you know for a fact that he absolutely loves you, but I think he just needs some me time.
Yeah,
there's just a lot
going
on.
That's me time over there right now.
Is that me time?
As much as we love April, as much as we love, and there's your little Jade over there, as much as we love our dogs, and for all the love that we give to them, and all of our viewers out there who give love to their animals, unfortunately, we have to deal with the subject of those people who do not love their animals. I don't know why, but it's right in the category of abuse.
I couldn't even fathom that. Listen.
It happens, and it's like we have to face the reality here on the Pet Pawcast that there are some people that just don't do a good job taking care of their animals. So, and it is very, very disturbing.
It really is.
But that has resulted in something for the here in the state of Delaware, which is, I think, a good thing. And it's a shame that it has to come about, but it is a good thing. So let's welcome our next guest, who is Senator Nicole Poore.
Oh, I love you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody loves you here at DETV.
Oh my God, we absolutely love her.
Thank you.
But Senator Poore is the sponsor, the primary sponsor, there are a number of others, primary sponsor of Senate Bill 174, which creates and it was just signed in August, I believe, but it creates a registry of abuse for people who abuse animals. Those people now will have their faces and what they did presented publicly.
Wow. That's like a whole shaming.
Well,
Like,
I guess it is, but Senator, look, obviously there are reasons why this type of legislation came about. We welcome you to the show to talk about it.
Well, thank you very much. Legislation comes about in many different ways, and in this particular case, there was a volunteer at the Brandywine Valley SPCA who brought this idea probably about 3 years ago. So this has been a lot of compromise, a lot of conversation, and as always, legislation is not just easily written, and it should never just be easily written. And you can't legislate yourself out of everything, but there are times where you need to put guardrails around certain issues, and this would be one of them. And so Be Real was talking to me about, people coming in to adopt and knowing that someone should not be adopting for whatever those reasons were. And she said, we just have no guardrails. Other states are doing things, and we should be looking at doing things. Tennessee does it, Florida does it, and there's a movement to have this happen across the nation because people love their animals as much as they love their children. Sometimes maybe a little bit more. Exactly. And so and I talked about it. We had several meetings, and then we kind of put a pause on it because thinking about what this would do to someone and how it would affect them. And then there is a conference every year with judges and attorneys. And what I kept hearing was this was low-hanging fruit. If you have committed a crime, an offense against another human, and an animal was there, oftentimes that they found that the animal was abused. And so again, low-hanging fruit and nothing to be able to prevent another adoption occurring at one time or another. And so we started talking about what that looked like, talked with OAW, talked with some of the officers. And so then we started crafting the legislation for this.
Yeah, OAW is the Office of Animal Welfare.
Yes.
So you work with that state agency, you work with police departments and so on. Did we describe it pretty accurately? In other words, if, and obviously I don't know the definition of abuse, but it's a crime. If a crime is committed involving an animal, then your image and your name will be out there for all to see.
Yep. And there's, we amended the bill towards the end in regards to the length of time. So, if you've committed an offense, we don't want you to be able to turn around and adopt a dog 3 weeks later.
Right.
We don't want you, we want you to work on yourself, and we want you to be a better person. And that takes some time, of course. And so if it is a misdemeanor, it's 2 years. If it is a felony, it's 7 years. And then you can work on an expungement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John.
You go ahead, April.
Are there requirements built into this bill? So let's just say me, and guys, I would never do anything to hurt this little baby. But if I were to wind up on this list, are there requirements or things that I would need to do to maybe, you said 2 years or somebody?
Right.
Are there requirements that would make me go, say, maybe anger management or something like that, and then I'd have to come and show proof that I've done these things, or how does it work?
So it really is going to be left up to the judge to make those decisions.
Okay.
But at least at this point, if an offense has occurred, then the judge can say, this is going to go into the registry. You will appear on the registry.
Okay.
I worked for many years in the Delaware Children's Department, and unfortunately there we dealt with younger people coming into the state system that were either accused or convicted of some sort of a crime. And we would have those instances where, as we looked into their case, it started with animal abuse. It started with animal abuse, moved to some other type of crime. Sometimes it was abuse against humans. And so consequently, I I don't know. I guess maybe we hope in some way that the new registry is kind of a reflective kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Look, folks, let's take a look at ourselves. Let's take a look at what we're doing, why we've been doing stuff like this, and stop it.
Yeah.
And
when you think about root causes, you know, I like to think that this is a tool that would help us navigate toward that, right? Like get to the root cause of why a person, you know, is doing a certain thing and, you know, or behaving a certain way. So when you think about children, but more primarily when you think about adults, right? Like being a responsible pet owner, you know, there are requirements, there are things that, there are expectations, you know, that you have as a pet owner, right? And we want to believe that, especially coming through the shelters, if you're, you know, adopting a pet or fostering a pet, that there are certain things, you know, that you would be required to do. And one of those things you would be required not to do would be to abuse, you know, the one thing that is relying on you for everything. Oh my God, like it's breaking my heart. They rely on us for everything. They love us unconditionally every day. They just want you to love them back and give them attention, feed them, take care of them. Like their needs are so minimal, right? Compared to what they actually do for us, right?
Absolutely.
It would break my heart, like to even witness something like that. So to know that there is now a bill that you advocated and you're what the primary sponsor behind it, like Nicole, I am so honored like that this was a passion of yours. How many dogs do you have at home?
So I have 3. For right now, I'm not allowed to have any more. But I'm going to be celebrating my 30-year wedding anniversary in just a week. So I think that, you know, this is something I can stay committed to for right now. But our senior, he's going to be 17 years old.
Wow.
And he is blind and he is deaf, and we're now diapering him. But he's been a part of my children's lives forever. And so I feel like when it is his time, it's almost like it's the end of my children's childhood, even though they're older. But it's just, you know, it's, you love your animals as much as you love your children.
It's so true.
But we have Winston Churchill.
I love that.
My son named him when he was in school.
Okay.
And then we have Blue, who is actually my son's quote unquote therapy dog.
Okay.
And he is a blue healer, an Australian cattle dog. And he is amazing.
I'm sure he's beautiful.
Oh, he is beautiful, and just really he adapts to whatever situation that my son needs, and you can tell when he's out of sorts because my son's out of sorts. My oldest is severely disabled, so he's 26. And then we rescued a French bulldog 4 years ago, Louis Vuitton. And he was already named when we got him, and I thought it was just fitting. He is, honestly, my husband said, no, we're not going to have this dog. We just can't. We have 2 dogs already. And I swear he came in the house. It was immediate. The love between all 3 of them was just so easy, so amazing, because everybody kept warning me that we had to do different things to make them all happy. Nope, it just fit perfectly. So so right now we're ebbing and flowing with three little furry friends, and I cannot imagine someone hurting any of them.
Well, for those who have joined us today on the Pet Pawcast, you know, you can see the love from the senator, from us, as far as our animals are concerned. And one of the reasons why we do a podcast like this is to encourage people to provide forever homes for animals. There are some wonderful shelters here in the state of Delaware, and they have some wonderful animals available. And so you should, and we visit them on this program. So we will bring you from time to time the dogs and the cats that are available, and we encourage you to to open your home, open your heart, and I'll tell you, there are so many benefits.
I know, it's nothing like
it.
it.
So many benefits.
I can have like, and I'm sure Nicole, you can resonate, like our jobs, sometimes they're just really, really tough, you know, and you have these really hard days at work and you get home, you get in the car, or you get in the car to go home and you're still trying to decompress and, you know, just kind of let it all go before you get home. And there are some days where you just don't have the ability to do that because there's so much going on. But as soon as you walk through that door, here comes that rush of love. And if you got more than one, you're getting it in multiples, right? And it comes at you and you just can't help but to just go and just soak it all in. Like they just love us. They do. They just love
it's
us.
unconditional love.
It is.
And that's the biggest point to this, right? Is that they don't have a voice. They can't tell you that they're hurt unless they are physically showing it. And so, you know, we have to be better people. And so the way that we can make sure that people aren't adopting when they shouldn't be. And also think about it from the perspective of the person who is signing over the paperwork, signing over that furry friend to somebody that should maybe not have an animal for a period of time. And so it's happened. We've heard about it. We know about it. Our officers, they have a tough job themselves going to some of these homes and realizing that there's some major abuse happening in this home. So
these are the enforcement officers.
Absolutely. Just, it is a tough job mentally and physically for them as well. So, you know, again, we're putting a tool in the toolbox should it be needed. And hopefully it's not needed. Hopefully by us talking about this and, you know, we're making people second think about what they're doing, that maybe it will give them a pause before they're hurting their animal.
That's a good point. I mean, look, if you have a problem with an animal out there, and you know, think about what you need to do for yourself. Do something for yourself. And do not abuse an animal.
We talk about that, you know, we talked about that in a previous episode, you know, knowing when to surrender, right? Knowing when to surrender your pet, you know, if it's overwhelming, if it's financially overwhelming, if it's emotionally overwhelming.
And don't be embarrassed.
No, don't be embarrassed.
To do it. It's probably better off for you and for the animal. I used to resent, when I was younger, and I would go to the shelter, because I've had dogs all my life, but I would kind of resent when they had me fill out this long form. But I then, you know, came to learn, hey, this is why they do it. They're screening us. They're trying to figure out if we're good people to take these animals into our homes. So, and now there's another tool, as you say.
Absolutely. And we have some amazing shelters, right? We have Brandywine Valley SPCA, we have the SPCA, we have Faithful Friends, like committed men and women in these organizations, and this is what they do every single day. So just tooling them again is the best thing that we can do for our animals.
That's good.
And when you talk about the shelters too, you also have to talk about the volunteers, right? Countless amount of people who just give up their time because they go and they walk these animals and you know, they help clean up behind the animals. Like there is a whole community of pet lovers.
I'm going to say something. I hope it doesn't sound too weird. Okay, but I'll say it anyway.
I'm waiting.
But when I go to a shelter, I really do look at the people who are there, the volunteers. I admire the people who are, you know, being paid because they work at a shelter. But for the volunteers to come in and walk the dogs, do the laundry, or whatever they're doing, or cleaning up, you know, and now this is the weird part. I take comfort in knowing that, for instance, you're right here, you're a state senator. I kind of take comfort knowing that a state senator who feels as deeply as you do about animals is in Dover representing us. That makes me feel good as a citizen of Delaware.
Let me just say, there's a lot of champions in the legislature, right? Representative Kim Williams was my sponsor in the House for this, and she was a great partner. And, you know, again, we had some questions that popped up in getting this particular piece of legislation through, and she worked really hard with her colleagues to make sure that we could do it, and that's where the amendment came from. You have Senator Walsh, you have Senator Hansen, you have so many other advocates in our legislature that really we love our animals, and we just want to keep them protected. And again, there was a time in COVID where everybody was adopting because they were home. And now we're seeing a burst of more animals in our shelters. And so if I can just say, when I was at Brandywine Valley SPCA last week, I was hanging out with Fernando, who is an 8-month-old puppy who needs a home. He is beautiful. He reminds you of like a Siberian husky, beautiful, just full of energy and so sweet. And then, of course, there was Ricky. Ricky's been at the shelter way too long, and he definitely needs a good home. So, and again, just a joy to pet, and of course, he was licking all over the place, and just a joy to be around. So I urge people to really, if you can adopt, maybe foster. Megan Walls, Dr. Megan Walls, I mean, talk about an amazing person who is constantly fostering little kitties. She takes them home to her girls, and they're taking such good care of some of our
true champion.
Wow.
Oh, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think what we want to let people know too, when it comes to fostering, there is no cost incurred to the foster parents, right?
Exactly.
So when you're fostering through any of our shelters here in Delaware, like they will provide everything, the food, the cat litter, the doctor visits, all of that stuff. So, when we think about what we can do, as a community of pet lovers, there's no cost incurred. I know that, these are really kind of trying times financially for people, and we're making decisions, financial decisions on what we're doing in our own households. But this is not something, that would cost you or it'd be an added bill, right?
It's
so fostering costs
good thing to
nothing. Yes, it is a
good thing to do. And won't cost you anything.
And it won't cost you anything. But Senator, I want to touch on your older dog just for a moment. I know that this is hard for you and for your family, and my heart goes out to you and to your family for this. I know that, losing a pet is horrifying, right? You guys are going to go through your transition. So my heart and prayers are with you and your family through this moment and this transition. Whatever it is that the Pet Pawcast can do to provide some assistance or some relief if you want to come. What I am going to offer to you is if you could send us a picture of your baby.
Absolutely.
We would love to dedicate one of our episodes to your baby.
That'd be
wonderful.
Nice idea.
I know what that feels like.
Yep.
And I've had to go through it myself, and I don't wish that on anyone.
Yeah.
No.
So
We're not ready.
I'm sure.
We are not ready.
I'm sure.
He's getting a haircut on Friday. So once he gets his haircut, I will send you a beautiful picture.
Yes.
But yeah, he's just, he's a joy.
I love that. In honor of you getting this bill passed, we would love to, return just a gesture and dedicate that one of our episodes to one of your pets, and also inform you that as we grow in the Pet Pawcast or whatever, we are interested in any of your pet videos, pet stories, the birthdays of your pets, and things like that. Like, we're going to highlight it all. I think we're thinking about, creating a Pet Pawcast calendar, for our community lovers and pet lovers and stuff. So we got some things, some gems, coming in, we got some things.
What's up? We got some things coming up.
We got some things.
All right.
So that is so great to hear, because let me just tell you, then my in-laws also rescued a little guy. His name is Tito. And let me tell you, birthday cakes, they dress him during the winter to make sure that he is warm. I have plenty of pictures to keep you laughing hard.
Thank you.
I
Thank
would
you.
love that. Thank you so much.
We've spent some time now on the Animal Abuse Registry. It's there for a reason. It's there to help.
Yes.
We want the situation in Delaware to improve, and we want people to think for just a minute about, if there's any kind of abuse of an animal going on, that means there's maybe something else going on that needs some attention. So, deal with it. But thanks to Senator Nicole Poore for sponsoring, the primary sponsor of Senate Bill 174. And so let's see how that registry works. And we
Yes.
thank you, Senator, for
Yeah.
being with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
Well, April, it's been a lot of fun on this episode of the Pet Pawcast. We've enjoyed lots of information today.
Yeah, today was really great. We got to get our information from HAP, and then we got our visit from our wonderful state representative, our Senator Nicole Poore. She came in and she brought us some really great information.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to understand that Delaware is going in that direction. So I'm super excited.
Yeah,
about
like we
that.
say, like we said in the show, it's a shame that we have to kind of go that way where people abuse animals. But you know what? That's what this program's all about, to make sure that we can reverse whatever nastiness is going on out there.
It's unfortunate, but I think safeguards are necessary. Again, giving people tools that they didn't necessarily know that they needed, but now that we have it, I think that it is imperative, that people understand that there are requirements to being a pet owner. It looks good, you take a picture with your pet, you walk your pet, but there are things that we can and cannot do, with our furry friends or whatever. And I think that, understanding that Delaware is watching, and that there's some safeguards put in place to make sure that our friends here are protected, just like people.
Just like
it's
people.
Important. Are you sneezing now too?
Yeah,
what
really.
is going on?
Mine just sneezed.
I know.
All right, so as we close out this episode, I thought it would be fun to just give people a little bit of behind-the-scenes look at how the Pet Pawcast is assembled.
Okay.
Okay, so I have two clips.
Oh,
The first clip shows us. Now, this is all the staff. This is Ivan Thomas, of course, who is the Chief Visionary Officer for DETV. It's April. It's myself. It's Brandon. It's Dennis. It's the whole team. And what we're doing is we are assembling the show, and this is how the show is put together.
Now, I have not seen this, y'all,
Oh,
it's going to be us and you,
All right.
first time. Let's see.
Take a look. See, that's us. That's it. Look
Is
at it.
that
See,
us?
we're
putting it together?
Yeah, we're putting it together. We're passing pieces of paper to each other.
Oh,
We're
gosh.
saying which segment this is going to be, which one's that's going to be. Look. And you know what? Half the time it says that's April growling at the rest of us.
Telling everybody what to do. I love it.
And then finally for the end of the show, we all love Ivan Thomas. And so I have a little clip here because people don't know this. But what happens behind the scenes when Ivan comes into the room and all the rest of us see him? Well, here you go.
Yes.
See, there's Ivan, and there's the rest of us.
We're so excited to see
We're so
him.
excited to see Ivan.
That is amazing. That's classic. I love that.
Okay.
That was
All
great.
right.
So
All
great.
right. That's going to do it. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you the next time on the Pet Pawcast. Bye-bye.
Right here on DETV.